I'm only 22 years old, but from as far back as my brain can go to dig out memories of what it was like to be alive in the earliest of years, I don't ever remember a time where I wasn't depressed or I wasn't struggling mentally or I wasn't kind of going through some sort of severe mental health crisis or issue. The first memories that I can recall of being alive as a child, I was depressed. I used to think that I was genuinely born depressed and like I never had a chance in life. And yes, depression and mental illness can be genetic. It's a little nature and nurture, and environmental factors also play a role. But it really truly got to a point where I started to believe that there was never a chance for me. Like, depression was all I knew, and mental health issues were all that I knew. And it never got any better despite my efforts and despite my life changing. I felt like it was a battle that I was never going to win. I think as I got older and gained some more independence and my life started to change and all of these things, I had a lot more hope, which makes sense, right? Especially when depression is like caused by external factors or environmental or just, childhood trauma and all of these things. So I had a lot of hope, and it did change a lot for me as I started to get older and go off and learn what it's like to kind of exist in the world as a human being. I wanted to believe with like this fresh start and newfound independence and all of those things, I could just be better and that I would just be better and I had more control over my life and the situations that I would be in and all of these other things. I really truly believed that that was my chance to just not have depression. I was like, okay, like we're not going to be doing that anymore. I'm going to be thriving. My life is changing. Things are going to be great. And as the years went on, I kind of just realized that no matter what I did, I was not okay. You hear all of the basic things when it comes to depression, like go to therapy, eat healthy, exercise, move your body, socialize, do all of these things, right? Do things that are good for you, that make you feel good, that make you happy, find something that gives you purpose and blah, 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 blah. But like depression doesn't care about that. A few months back, I was in a place with the therapist that I was seeing at the time, and I just felt my depression getting so much worse. It was progressively getting worse. And I definitely have a huge history of like suicidal thoughts, ideation, even attempts. And it was no stranger to me. And so it felt very familiar, and I can kind of feel sometimes when things are getting bad or things are getting really bad, even if I don't quite know why, and even if I didn't really change any of the things that I was doing, because I have a lot of pretty consistent behavior when it comes to taking care of myself. But yeah, I remember like being with this therapist for a few months, and at one point he's kind of just like, you're doing everything that you could be doing. Like, you're here, you're showing up, you're using my recommendations, you have your routines. It sounds like you're doing things to care for yourself and show up, and like, you're not well. Like, I still wasn't well, and I think it took me years, honestly, to realize I could not, as a single unit, just decide to like beat depression. Like, there's no amount of self-caring or meditation or yoga or vegetables or telling yourself that there's so much purpose. Like there's no amount of any of that that's going to beat like genuine clinical depression. And like sometimes you need help, sometimes you need more than that, and sometimes the things that you're doing aren't enough, and they might never be enough, because despite your best efforts, like that shit is rough, right? Like it can kill you. It can kill you. It's almost killed me. And it's just really, really scary. Like mental health issues aren't fun. They're not cool. They're not pretty. And it's just a very defeating feeling. And when he kind of responded to me that way, I was just like, shit, dude, like you're right. And that's the problem. I do all of these things that I'm supposed to do. I do all of these things that are supposed to make living and breathing easier. And I'm doing my best to take care of myself, and I'm, you know, it's not enough. Like it's genuinely not enough, and I don't know if that will ever be enough, at least up until the point in life that I'm at right now. Like it's not enough, and I need help. Like I genuinely need more help. And for the longest, I didn't want to take medication for depression because I just wanted to believe that like there was something I could do to fix it. That if I just worked hard enough, if I just exercised enough, if I was mindful enough, if this or that, right? That like I could be okay and I could fix it. And I just had to try harder. I just had to work harder. I just had to like introspect a little bit more. I just had to XYZ my way out of it. And it was my responsibility, and it was my job, and if I couldn't do it, then well, nobody could. But it was kind of a wake-up call for me in the sense that yeah, like this dude was right. Like he was absolutely right. And my depression was just so bad at this point in time. Like I was very, very suicidal. I had been just getting progressively worse for months and months. And you know, he's like, just maybe you need to try some medication. Like maybe just, you know, you can maybe try it out, see if it works for you. The option's there. And at this point I was just like, fuck it, dude. Like I have tried everything that I could possibly try. I have lived on this planet for 22 years with depression, and no amount of being a cool person who takes care of themselves is going to help me overcome that at this point in time. Like it is still eating me alive. And maybe that's okay, and maybe it's okay to be like, oh shit, you know, like I actually like can't do this like by myself. Like I kind of need something more, right? Like this is not working for me. And so at that point I was like, this is honestly like my last hope. As deep and dark as it is, like I was like, if this doesn't work, like I'm gonna go for it, and if this doesn't work, I'm done for. That was genuinely my mindset. Like I was just like, this is the absolute last resort for me, because I wanted to believe like so badly that if I just tried hard enough, I could just like not deal with this anymore. I had a few experiences with like medication growing up for depression and anxiety and things, and they were really bad and also kind of brief, and I just stopped taking them. I shit you not, on one of the medications, I think I was literally 12 years old, I saw dead people, and I wish I was joking. I saw dead people, and that was just not the move, you know what I mean? Like if I'm already depressed, like I don't really feel like looking at dead people in the middle of the night when I'm just like trying to sleep. Like I don't know if that's the vibe. It's not giving. It's not. So I didn't really think that it was going to be effective, but again, it was my last hope. It was a journey, you know? I had some very, very, very bad side effects as I first like began taking it. Once my body became adjusted, there was just like a point where I was like, what is this? Like I noticed that something was different, and I was like, what the fuck is this? It took me some time, and I was like, holy shit, I don't want to die. I don't feel like dying. Like, I do not have the desire to die. I want to live, actually. Like, I feel like living and I want to live, and like I'm kind of like glad to be here, and like I just feel like living. And as normal as that should be, like that was not my normal, and it was never my normal. And it was the weirdest fucking thing. It was the weirdest thing for me. I still can like hardly comprehend it. I am currently going through some shit right now. Some really, really difficult shit. Just it's not fun, right? And I just can't stop having the thought that like if this were happening to me 3, 4, 5 months ago, I genuinely don't think that I would be here. Like, I genuinely do not think that I would be here breathing on this earth anymore. And that is just a terrifying but also amazing thought to have. Whatever was going on in my brain, taking medication actually put me like at a level that I could handle some of the worst shit that I've ever been through in my life. Like, it sucks, right? It's not that it doesn't suck, and I still have emotions and things are still really hard, but it's like I feel like I can handle them, and like I actually have hope that like life is worth living, and you know, I'm meant to just be here and live and have this experience, and it's something that I kind of want to do. I feel like we have this idea that like taking medication for something like depression is weak, or like it makes you weak, or it's just like the easy way out, or like you don't need it, you just need to do this and do that and be better and change all of these things. But like depression is a mental illness. Clinical ass depression is a mental illness. Like, it kills people. It absolutely kills people. I recognize this because I also deep down like kind of felt this way. I would never feel this way towards someone else who was on antidepressants or like whatever it may be, but I felt it for myself, and I like subconsciously was just like telling myself that like this was something that I had to fight, and if I just tried harder, I wouldn't have to live that way anymore. And it's just not true. I genuinely cannot believe the difference in the way that I feel and the way that I'm handling things. From my perspective, at the point that I was at, if you give me anything and it will drag me out of that, I mean, like, not crack, you know, I'm not gonna just like do crack or whatever, but like, if there's anything that you could give me that would not hurt me, that could pull me out just enough for me to have even like vision that is even just slightly clearer, if I could just see reality and not be absolutely clouded by just the most depressive thoughts I could possibly be living with every day, I will take it. I will take that shit. Give it to me. I have absolutely no regrets, and I'm kind of upset that I didn't do this sooner. Like, no, this does not make you weak. This does not make you, let's not moralize getting help, right? Like, let's not moralize taking medication. Let's not moralize admitting that you need support, or that you can't do something, or that you're really fucking struggling, or that maybe you don't want to be here anymore. Let's not moralize like suffering and pain, right? Like, it doesn't make you any less of a person, and you're not a better person for suffering. You're not a better person for not suffering. Truly, shout out to the pharmaceutical industry. Shout out. Like, I don't know what else to say. Like, this has been so valid, and I don't know why I hadn't done it sooner. It really just like made me want to examine why it didn't happen sooner. Why was there a part of me that like didn't want to take medication, that like wanted that to be a last resort, that wanted to believe that if I just tried harder, if I just put in more work, I just wouldn't be like mentally ill, because that's how it works. Like, no, it doesn't work that way. Anyway, just a little rant. I hope you're doing well, living and breathing. Drink some water today. If you just get up, if you just like get out of your bed and drink some water and I don't know, take a shower, like you're already winning. You are already winning in this world. And I hope that like anyone who is struggling out there, you can find something somewhere, some sort of support or something that gives you a little bit of hope, because you deserve to be here and to exist in this world and to feel loved and supported and to live your life in peace. Healing and living and mental health issues are not linear. You know, it's not just an upward incline to happiness, but some of us need a little bit more, and I think that we deserve that, and I think that it's okay to need that, and it doesn't make you any less, it doesn't make you any weaker, it doesn't make you any stronger to not need it. Whatever it is that you need in order to be okay, you deserve that, and you always will.